Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Rock Solid Wrestling Talk Podcast, episode 106, not 1, 206, season 2, baby. We got Chico Libre down here on the call. We got Kenny Cornette, I guess you could call him the champ, but you got Buck Nasty, the new Rock Solid World Heavyweight Champion, baby. It looks so goddamn good on my shoulders.
It's still by dastardly means, of course.
Enjoy it while you can.
Triple H got the job done for your old boy Buck Nasty. That's about the only thing he got done because he got shafted. But, I ain't getting shafted here. But lots still to talk about in the wake of our events from last week. Last week, a lot of other stuff was happening as well besides our show. So, namely, WWE and lots of stuff that's going on with AEW social media type stuff. So we'll get into that a little later. But the first thing that I feel we should talk about is last night. So from when we're recording this, last night, Saturday night, was the first, day one. WWE had day one pay-per-view. We obviously didn't watch it. That's kind of what we do now. We don't watch it. What we do is we look on social media, stuff like that, because we're well-informed black folk here and Puerto Rican folk. But we are very well-informed, and there is so... The general consensus. So, if you haven't seen it, Roman Reigns, the tribal chief, has come down with COVID-19.
Get well soon, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely get well soon.
Not
like we've said many times, we don't hate the wrestlers. We hate the company you work for. That's literally it. But that was the last person you would want on your roster to come down with COVID. The absolute last person. Not only is he your biggest draw right now, he is immunocompromised as well, and that's why he took the leave of absence the last time, and he still got shafted, but he still got caught with it.
Acknowledge the tribal chief, but not his compromised immune system.
Yeah, and he's making money for his family and stuff like that, and I feel genuinely bad for the guy. I'm not gonna lie, but.
They disrespected the guy, man.
Yeah, and then so what do you do after this? And he still, Roman did still make the statement and stuff like that, praising the E and stuff like that. Like, at some point, you have to drop the act and just be like,
come on.
All right, you're putting me at risk. Come on. Like, come on, man. Like, seriously, it's too much.
Come on, man.
For real. Exactly. I mean, Booker T gets it, and it's just one of those. It's one of those things where it's just like, why are you? And we heard a policy as to where they're like no longer testing staff or something like that. What is that about? Like, that's so irresponsible.
And even worse, if your main talent, they're not even going to check you out.
Yeah, like, why would you do that? Like, that's what your business hinges on. So, like, unless, they don't want their business to hinge on it, I could be wrong. With the rumors of Nick Khan and, and company, trying to transition into, whatever. They want to be the Marvel of the wrestling business is what they say.
Oh, get out of here.
Yeah, that's like Stephanie McMahon's words. Seriously.
Why do they still let her talk?
I don't know. I really don't know.
Is that why Drew does he still carry a sword? Is that why he was doing that?
I think he does. I think he still carries a sword.
And
we didn't watch the show last night, so we didn't watch the show. So he might have carried that sword.
He's out too.
Drew's out?
From what I understand, isn't he out too?
I thought he won a match last night.
Oh yeah, he did.
Oh.
Let's scratch that from the record.
I must be losing my mind.
False alarm as far as that.
Oh man, but just the common practices. So in light of this news, WWE threw together, and I'm okay. Before I say, poor Seth Rollins. All right,
Hey, it's now Seth freaking Rollins.
Oh, he's leaning into that now.
Oh no, they're making him call him that now.
Oh,
yes.
But
Anytime
why?
they do commentary, his ring announcement, you have to say Seth freaking Rollins.
Why? Why do y'all do this to us? Why y'all do this to us? Like I don't understand. Like at this point, I don't understand. But it screams like I hate how everybody has to have a nickname in WWE.
Yeah, but they can't have whole names.
Yeah, somebody's a name bandit there.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Andrade, Murphy,
Take the buddy off.
Biggie.
Take the CN off.
Yeah, where's Langston? Where's
Langston sounds too much like Langston Hughes.
Oh,
Take it off.
Oh, one of the worst ones, Riddle.
Why would you take away the man's first name? Like, come
Because
on.
we already have two Matts.
Who's the other man?
It was Matt Hardy.
No more Mats.
And then when
more
Matt
Matts, pal.
Riddle and Jeff Hardy teamed together, it sounded too much like Matt and Jeff Hardy. So
That's
yeah,
probably but that's probably why
Yeah.
they fired Jeff too. 'Cause we want to change your name to just Hardy. Nah, Vince, I'm not gonna do that. Get out, get out of here.
You're gone. Just clock out.
Oh God, but okay. So getting back to, like I said, poor Seth Rollins, Seth freaking Rollins. Apparently, he went from having a one-on-one to having a triple threat to having a fatal four-way to having a five-way right before the match was supposed to, get underway. How do you do that? Like, they just kept adding people to the match and I heard the match was great, but I hear that from WWE shills. So there's only so many things that the champ can, take into account. So that's not one of them. Is to believe what a shit. I'll judge for myself. Thank you very much. But
Big grain of salt.
But that's the thing. I'm not gonna watch it. So why? Because I do what I want. I'm the mother effing champion.
Whatever. I do what I want.
Yeah, exactly. That we all do what we want. This is Rock Solid Wrestling Talk Podcast. This is what we do.
Yeah.
And everybody knew once Brock got added to that match, it was a given.
Immediately.
It was an immediate given.
I called it immediately going in. I didn't even watch the match and I knew.
Said, well, Brock won
Again. The classic Chico line, you know.
It's supposed to be Roman, but he's out.
Roman won
Of course.
again. Now Brock won again.
Well, Brock only wins again in Roman's absence. That's
Right.
what.
So okay, he can't have his match with Roman. You didn't have to use him on the show.
Yeah.
Or you didn't have to put him in the other title match.
But they don't want to piss off Brock. He was paid to fight, and he.
Well,
wasn't
do an
going
impromptu match against somebody else.
What, like a squash match?
Yeah.
It wouldn't be main event though. Was he gonna squash Mad Cat Moss?
No, Drew already did that.
Right. Oh yeah, that was his match, right?
Yeah.
Why? I don't know. These are and they're called premium live events now. So, like Simon Miller said, what culture? People are looking to think, you're watching something on a Saturday night that you're not supposed to by saying that. Oh no, you're not watching a pay-per-view. You're watching a premium live event. You might as well be watching porn. So, I mean,
Order now.
all right, think about that. Why would you do that? They just have to differentiate themselves all the time, huh?
Well, I mean, technically, they're not pay-per-views anymore because they're all on Peacock and they've been on the network for quite some time.
That's true.
They're all on the cock.
Then the cock of the walk, baby. But You're absolutely right about that. I didn't even think about that because they are in some cases still on pay-per-view, but it's not really being brought that much attention to, as what it is. So that's why I guess that's why they made the call or made the change or whatever.
Because they don't want to give their stars a cut of that money.
Yeah, that and Vince just. If Vince can control his world, he will do so.
Yeah, CM Punk would press him on that before he left.
Wait, clarify that.
For pay-per-view payments and getting a piece of the pie.
Yeah.
He would always go with Vince and them about it, and they're like, "Oh, we haven't figured that out yet."
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, I remember that. There's so much stuff that just CM Punk said that was just on point.
Mm-hmm.
And they just, man, it's hard to look at these days. It's just you didn't want to believe it. But here we are. So I don't know what to necessarily tell you. But then I'm just looking. I find myself on Twitter looking at tweets about, positive tweets about WWE in disgust. I'm literally looking. It's just why would you, really? You said all that? You really like that or whatever? Yeah, Q, I'm talking to you. Q, talking to you.
Wasn't somebody excited that Brock won last night? Let's fucking go! My guy is champion. Shut up.
Okay, I had a confession to make.
That wasn't his tweet. I knew.
You all know I just lied, totally.
I just lied,
But yeah, that was on me. I made that tweet. Q, if you're listening, I'm not sorry.
I'm not sorry.
And I don't love you.
Is that what it is now? Is that what it is now, man? Really? Is that what it is? How you feel? Okay. That's how you feel, though. Okay. Okay, I get it.
You be like, let
get
it
you
rock,
back,
I'll bust your head.
Yeah, let me get you back, eh?
You gonna get you back, eh?
Yeah. That's why I won WrestleMania for $900.
He's scarred. But yeah, I just don't.
I know
get
people
it,
got a lot of sugar, see.
I just don't get it, man. Why? I guess people are entitled to like their own stuff. I guess if that's what floats your boat, it's gonna float your boat. I guess, but my God, it just seems like anybody would. God, I hate to do it. Anybody with sense would just see everything that WWE's doing and just be like, yeah, no, not for me. What? Come on, man. I can't wrap my head around it. It's something I just can't do it. Because as much as I was a fan of the Fed and seeing that, we were talking about in the chat last night about, going to WrestleMania and going to live events and stuff like that. And it's just it's so much money to just go sit there and do nothing and not even get hype or whatever. I would just be so disgusted being there. Yeah. That's just me. That's just the rock solid world heavyweight champion speaking. I can't wrap my head around that. So can you guys go to an event nowadays?
Truthfully, I don't even know how people sit there at Raw for an entire 3 hours.
And day one was packed. I'm not gonna lie, it was. I think it was close to the sellout. We follow WrestleTix or whatever on Twitter, and they recorded.
Even though the Madison Square Garden show was a completely different story.
Completely different. GCW sold more than they did.
That is crazy.
That is really crazy when you think about it.
Shout out to GCW for that, though.
Yeah, but they sold that pay-per-view based on Brock and Roman alone. That's what people wanted to see.
And then you'll get people oh, I want a refund and blah blah blah. But that's classic WWE stuff. I don't think an AEW crowd member would do that.
I didn't like that. I didn't like that at all.
But okay, we got a show. we still got the best possible show they could put on, but WWE, man, like it's just something about the way they throw things together. It just seems so like haphazard. It's like, well, now with Roman getting sick, you know.
Yeah, this is what happens when you put like a whole majority of your stock into just one guy.
Yes.
And there's nobody else on the roster that's really credible to be believable in that they would. I'll say two guys because Roman and Brock, that's all they focus on. And there's nobody else has enough credibility to believe that it could be a possibility that they would win. That they would win the main title.
Yeah, everybody else feels like a placeholder. Big E felt like a placeholder.
Yeah, that's that status quo I wanted to get into.
Yeah.
Like,
take us away.
You guys, they're not putting faith in somebody like him to carry these shows. He can't even go into WrestleMania this year as a champion because they have no faith in him. They keep going back to these nostalgia people to carry the WrestleMania card. It's time for new people to start carrying the card.
Yeah,
but
like
we were talking about earlier, it's no longer about the stars. It's about the show itself now.
Yep.
The show is bigger than the stars, and it shouldn't be that way.
It shouldn't. It really shouldn't. It's sad.
Yeah, the whole thing felt like, you've been here for 10 years, so we'll let you hold the belt for a few months.
Right, but see, and we were talking about this again earlier. They take advantage of current events that's going on in the world to take action.
And that's where we hit Buck Nasty mode, because this pisses me off, like specifically. And I want you to get your little beady eyes right here, because what happens is WWE, and this is me I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people that feel this way, but this is me accusing WWE right now. This is literally it. You didn't realize that all this stuff with black superstars and things like that started happening when the Daniel Prude stuff came up and things like that. Like they see it. They not only they just see it as a marketplace at this point, because they have a few black stars that are like, oh, we have Big E over here, we have Bianca down there or whatever. We can pull her up.
We believe Black Lives Matter too.
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, we do. That's what we think. Shut up, because you don't. You definitely don't. And this has been years track record of proving this crap, of y'all sucking the teeth and not pushing your minority stars or anything like that. And then you want to sit there and you want to go and blame AEW for that stuff? We'll get into that later. But come on. Like, are you serious? They'd have drawn the ire of Buck Nasty, and we don't like that.
And then once they give them the title, they still look like jokes.
Exactly. Still.
So then they didn't get over, and then you take the belt off of them because they didn't get over, because you didn't give them the opportunity to.
Big E's title reign was just marred with loss after loss after loss after loss.
How many successful title defenses he had since he's been champion?
3. I can't name them, but
and when you showed us the all the losses that he
that's
had,
what I'm thinking of.
Like, holy shit! Like you got disqualified with
you got me, Eddie.
With Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
And then he lost by count out with the Usos, and I mean,
count out. Like, come on.
I could pull it up right now.
Yeah, please do, because we need those figures. I'm pretty sure it's in the chat somewhere, like recently.
But you have people like Roman and Brock not losing at all. Not even by pinfall, no
Roman
less.
didn't lose. So we read something. Roman didn't lose. Hasn't been pinned since 2019 when he came back. Nobody's beating him.
Except for by disqualification, which was Woods.
That doesn't count.
Yeah, but it doesn't count.
Yeah,
but
that doesn't count. Well, in the WWE land, it doesn't count, but not me. Not to me. And that's all that matters on this show. Me, Cornette, Libre. That it don't matter. Apples to apples. So Chico, how about you let us know?
I got you. So Big E won the title September 13th. He then lost to Roman in a triple threat and bloodline in trios on September 20th, the week after. Lost to Usos by countout.
Oh boy.
That's October 10th. Lost to Rollins Usos November 15th. lost to Roman at Survivor Series, and lost to Owens by DQ November 29th. Lost to Lashley December 13th. I believe that was the week when all their champions got jobbed.
Sorry to cut you off, but right there, you could have put him over Roman to make him somewhat legitimate. But no, it's the Roman show.
Of course. You know, it's the Vince show backstage, but it's the Roman show out there.
Just makes my blood boil.
Yeah, at least if this was like an AEW thing, I have faith that whether it was a black wrestler or anybody else, even if they had someone else go over with them on a non-title match, the brother or sister would get the win back.
I just feel like they're exploiting it, and
look at the gender experiment.
Yeah,
they needed the Indian market. What did they do? Oh, hey, Jinder, you want to hold a belt for a few months?
Like completely out of nowhere.
Because we need your people to view into our show.
A spot that he didn't earn at all.
And he's a jobber. No offense, you're a jobber.
Yeah, that's the long and the short of it. I started so what I just accused the WWE of is exploitation, because that's literally what it was. I'm not going to go out on the limb and say the R word or whatever.
In their case right now, it's blaxploitation.
Yeah, it's literally it. But they're exploiting the whole, because that's what society is right now. It's about, giving not just even black people, but like in general, minorities, their due right now. Like, because, history and the shit's still going on in society and stuff like that. And rather than deal with it properly or anything like that, WWE decides, oh, well, this is a market that we can take advantage of, and guys, come over here and see, hey, we have a black champion over here. And then what pisses me off even more is the fact that there are people out there, shows or what have you, that say, oh, WWE pioneered this stuff. Have you been watching the WWE for years or what? Are you a catalog watcher like Mel? Are you? I have no idea. But, in which case, how can you sit there and say that?
Yeah, like they pioneered a black power movement in wrestling when
Kofi Kingston was the first black WWE champion, right? We're not counting The Rock.
They gave him the Daniel Bryan treatment against Daniel Bryan.
Oh, we're gonna get into that in a minute, but just
putting it out there.
Chico, you said that The Rock didn't count. That he does count.
He does count. He is black and
he's
in my book. He does not count.
Yeah,
he does not count.
Hit him, Corey.
Rock, I love you to death, but you are not black. You are more Samoan than black, so you are not the first black champion.
His dad was Rocky
in my
Johnson.
opinion.
Yeah,
his father's a black Canadian on top of that.
Oh, he's Canadian?
Yes.
Well,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, but just because he wasn't like a born black American, it doesn't mean anything.
It doesn't. He needs to.
How about we say
he needs to be full blown African American to be considered a black
that.
champion.
Yeah, full blown.
Which you have in Kofi, E, and Lashley.
And then
no, I mean Kofi's parents are from Africa.
Right. But see, now we're talking about that level of black. Not that it matters that much, but I mean, it's to that point where it's just like, think about that. Think about when Kofi's reign actually happened. This was what, WrestleMania 35? Yes. What are we at now, 38? This was 3 years ago.
They gave him a mediocre run too,
yeah.
And they had Brock take him out in about 9 seconds.
Mm-hmm. And they're making the joke on Twitter or whatever.
They gave Big E a mediocre run last night. He got pinned by Brock as a defending champion in a matter of about 6 to 8 minutes.
That's what I don't get. In a match that kept exponentially growing, and then you put Brock in there, we knew he was going to win. Why on earth you chose to have him pin the champion?
Of all the people that were in that match that could have took that pinfall.
Of all people. Like, why? You knew it was going to piss people off. But that's what I was talking about. We're going to get into the whole Daniel Bryan thing. Where they keep trying to capture this lightning in the battle. I feel like they're about to try and do it with Big E, and I feel like they're about to try and do it with Liv Morgan. Liv lost clean as a bell last night.
The underdog keeps getting screwed.
Keeps getting screwed and getting thus mad.
And has to keep climbing his way.
And then
down.
at WrestleMania, they'll get it. Oh, then they'll hold it for a few more months, if that, and then lose it again to the status quo. It's the simple thing to do. That's what. It's like clockwork. It just keeps going.
And Brock is a part-timer. You keep putting belts on part-timers because you want to sell the WrestleMania card.
When, like you said, WrestleMania, the show sells
itself.
People just wanted to go to WrestleMania because it's WrestleMania. The spectacle or whatever. Fireworks doesn't mean spectacle.
Yeah, like one of our buddies right now is going for $900 for nothing.
And all in the attempt to see Stone Cold,
to watch him do nothing.
You don't even know if he's going to be there now.
Right, exactly.
Right.
He might not even be there.
What?
How sick would he be if he showed up on AEW?
What? What am I gonna do? What?
That's not I'm gonna go back to a wrestling show, right? WWE's not wrestling.
You want me to do what? You're full of what?
But I mean, it's one of those things where it's just like it's blind loyalty at this point, and it's not like it's even a good quality show. I'm looking on Twitter throughout the show, and they're just like, "Oh, this match is great. This pay-per-view has been great." Like, really? It can't be. It can't be that great.
Yeah.
Really?
And they just keep doing things to pop the audience too, like Edge's Brood entrance. Brood character wasn't actually a gimmick. It was, if anything, was all entrance. What else did they do?
Gangrel. He couldn't even use it exactly. AEW with it because they stole it first. Well, took it from him first.
And they're acting like Edge was the leader of it. No, Edge was a lackey of it. Sorry, so was the Hardys. You know? And then somebody's like, oh, you should get Christian back there and have Edge and Christian do a Brood tag team thing. Like, I got some dreams, man. Like, seriously. Like, my God. Like, grow a pair. For real. It's just, like, get real. Come on, get real.
If they do have a pair, they're aching and they're blue.
Yeah. They're no grapefruits. I'll tell you that. It's bad, man. Like, just the whole state of affairs is bad, and
it's too bad that, like, I mean, even in with these black champions, the overall show is still a mess.
Yeah, a mess, completely a mess. You know, if I could steal something from that movie, The Campaign, it's a mess.
It's a mess. It's a mess.
So I'm
breaking my brew.
I'm beside myself over it. And then you have all these glaring issues with WWE and things like that. And their fan base will just completely ignore it, if anything. But then you
thought you had a good run. I mean, come on, I gave you the championship. We gave you a good run with it.
What more do you want?
What more do you want from us?
Like, this isn't being used. Like, that's not enough. Like, Triple H used to say it, right? The title doesn't make the man makes the title, or something like that. I don't know who said it, but that's probably where I heard it first. But
you had a picture with Big E sitting outside of the ring, looking disheartened, right?
But that's why a fan took that photo. You know, he was outside the ring. He was disappointed.
Exactly, because look what he got told before he went out there.
Yep.
Right. The plans were for you to win.
Yep.
Oh, hey,
they didn't even change the graphic.
We're gonna add Brock to this match, and you're gonna drop it. You are gonna drop it to him, not anybody else. You have to do it.
Right. Like, I would have been fine if it wasn't, having to take the pin or whatever. How do you build your credibility back up after that?
You don't. They're not gonna give him a chance to.
That's what it is. It's. I hate to say it, but that's what a title run is. How dominant are you as the champion? Are you transitional? Are you a dominant champion so that when somebody beats you for it means something?
A credible champion?
Right, exactly. A credible champ. That's how you build contenders. That's how you build them to be able to come back at a later date and be like, oh, you know what? I made one little mistake last time or whatever. I want my title back.
And that's why we like the other company, because that's exactly what they do.
That's exactly what they do. Whether that be the ranking system, or whether that be the an overall story. Like, they put a pin in the Punk MJF feud this past week. We'll get to that. They put a pin in it successfully.
Well, no, let's move on to that. Fuck the E. We're done with the E. Yeah. Moving on.
We spent a lot of time on
that. We did.
We're just pissing ourselves off.
To the point where we're sweating and profusely. And, we're going to get dried up here, and we'll be right back at you, all right? So stick around. We'll talk more. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Rock Solid Wrestling Talk Podcast. You get to see our shining faces now. Getting Kenny Cornette down on the end over there, Chico Libre right here in the booth on the call, and the Rock Solid World Heavyweight Champion, Buck Nasty Marcus Johnson, in the flesh. So, now, what we want to... They're gunning for the champion. The target is on my chest.
Happens to be a champion, but the target on your back.
It is my destiny.
Oh my God! I'm fighting words for sure. They're gonna have to duke it out first to see who's worthy, but it'll get there. It'll get. It's all about the money. But be that as it may, we are back in the living color. We hope you guys enjoyed. Let us know if you enjoyed the audio half of Rock Solid Wrestling Talk Podcast, because we are doing something a little different with this one today. We are going to be we'll make an announcement soon as to a separate audio, because we can offer that as well. We might be getting into that venture as well. It's the audio version of it. Some people like to go to work and just listen to it and stuff like that, and
put the phone in their pocket.
Exactly.
And not have to worry about it pausing the video.
Exactly.
So that was just a little sneak preview.
Just a sneak.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, we know exactly what you're saying, Booker man. But we are back live in the living color, and for good reason, because we have some AEW stuff to talk about in this half. There was a tweet, a controversial tweet, I guess, over the weekend.
Already starting the new year off wrong.
Oh yeah, with the so this could have went so wrong so many ways. And now that we're on the other half of it, or the other side of it, things could still snowball or anything like that. But as far as right now, it seems like it's under control. So we're going to talk about it. So what happened was, everything was well and good. And then Big Swole of AEW fame did an interview. And she basically called out AEW for not being inclusive or
black heavy.
Yeah, I'll say black heavy. And to be honest, at least in our standpoint, I could probably speak for all of us, that is just certainly not true. I read the interview and I posted it in our chat on that we do. And I immediately made my feelings known. It was just it's a little controversial or whatever, but I don't agree with her here. I just don't. I feel like people in that situation, they make it so that it makes it harder for us as a black community and stuff like that to be able to say, okay, are we getting opportunities? Are we not getting opportunities? And things like that. So, what do we... as much as Tony Khan and AEW has done for the culture, if you will, and not only just our culture, but other minorities and stuff like that, it was just out of pocket to me that she would go and say that and stuff like that. And then she brought her daughter into the mix, because Kurt Angle knows he can't beat me. He's not even going to try. But she brought her daughter into the mix, and it was just she's watching the E, and it's oh, mommy, there's people on here that looks like me. Why isn't there anybody there or you are that looks like me? Like, isn't your mom there? Don't she look like you? She looked the most like you, right? And I'm assuming, daughters look like their mothers and things like that. Not only just the black aspect of it, but,
just women in general.
Yeah, exactly. And then we posted a lot of, people went completely to back. Despite what Tony said in his tweet back, people were like, people thought he was drunk or whatever, because I think this happened New Year's Eve or something like that.
Probably was.
Yeah, it was like early afternoon, New Year's Eve. And
I could see some liquid courage.
Yeah, let me tell you something. I gotta write this out.
He did a little stomp as he was tweeting too.
And not because he wanted to.
Right.
He had no control over it.
It's innate at this point. Like, he can't help himself. But everybody was like,
you got these pretzels and the beer and $5? Get out of
here. Everybody was like, well, that second part of that wasn't needed. The second part of his tweet was something to the effect of, I let your contract run out because I didn't like your wrestling. It sounds harsh, but...
Well, no, he said it wasn't good enough.
It wasn't good enough.
Wrestling wasn't very good.
Okay, yeah. So...
And he's not wrong.
He's not wrong. He's not... I'm going to put it right out there. Swole, I love you to death or whatever, but, sister girl, not even just that, but, different strokes. I mean...
different folks.
It's Tony's company at the end of the day. And if that was the case, that's cool and all, but it did sound harsh. But it's just like, they're like the Simpsons, like, oh, you don't have to tell it like it is, Marge. But that's what he did. He told it like it was.
Right, and nobody knows what happened behind the scenes when they parted mutually.
Not 100%. No.
Yeah, she mentioned something about not being on the best terms with Kenny Omega, at all, until, she was very happy that her and Kenny Omega left on such positive terms. When she left and stuff like that. She said that's one of the things that she's most grateful for. But I'm sitting there and it's just like, you keep kind of crisscrossing back and forth on this,
Ghostbusters crossing the streams.
Yeah, are they racist? Are you trying to say they're racist or what? And then people came in and refuted it. And this is one thing, I will always love AEW for shit like this. The fact that after all this came out and stuff like that, the AEW talent, the amount of AEW talent that came forward to defend Tony was top notch. I loved it. I really did.
Hobbs.
And all the people that needed to come to his defense. He did. And not only this, Leo Rush, he was in his anger and stuff like that, and it was just like, oh, here comes the Leo Rush thing again, and he's going to quit, he's going to do this, going to do that. But then he turned it around and was like, they opened a dialogue and stuff like that, and they're going to be working together to, make sure we're, whatever they're looking for in terms of representation and things like that, we're working towards that and stuff like that. It's like, oh, what? Really? Okay. Well, this is not... And it was Swole.
You know why? Because for once, he actually thought.
Yeah, before his actions.
He didn't let his angers just take over. And
That's what surprised me.
And they were able to talk it out.
Yeah, that proves he grown.
Yeah.
He's grew.
Yeah, for damn sure. And I was getting paranoid because I really enjoy Leo Rush. I really do. As a performer, I didn't want to see him go under pretenses like that and stuff like that.
Yeah, the matches, just a couple matches that he has so far.
Yep.
Yeah, because if you'd left Leo, you're cut off.
Yeah, and it was just like, okay, please don't go down this route. And he didn't. And I was like, oh, thank God. I was actually specifically elated that they took care of it like that. It was just nice to see. And then I think Swole had shared something about Jade or something like that. It made her look a little more bitter.
Jade responded.
Yeah. And
that's what I was going to get at. Like, her comments are out of pocket. And, like, look at Jade for a prime example.
Yeah.
She's undefeated. She's competing for a brand new title, which is more than likely she's probably going to get.
It's been talked about that
she's pushed heavily.
CBS
A chick that has no experience in the ring just came in and just dominated.
Her to do this.
Homegrown.
Yep, homegrown. They trusted her to do this, and that's one thing that Jade did say in her response. It's like Tony and the boys, or they took a green talent like myself, and they put me on display. They trusted me enough to
high-profile matches
in high-profile situations and stuff like that, and she'll ever be indebted to them. Of course, like I get.
So that just sounds like a bitter. I don't want to say the name, but a bitter bee.
Yeah, yep. That's pretty much it. It made Swole sound like she was bitter.
Bitter.
She didn't get that opportunity. But think about it. Swole did get a title match, right? Mm-hmm. I believe. So she's been in that before or whatever. She's been featured. The Tooth and Nails match.
Didn't she win that?
Like, what, the Tooth and Nails?
Yeah. Didn't she win that match?
She did.
Uh-huh. And
okay. So stop crying.
That's pretty much it. Like, stop crying. Like, don't stir the pot if it don't need to be stirred or whatever. And it's just like, yeah, Chico, you say things now.
Just want to do some expansion on this while this whole thing came from, somebody who I believe was given like the enough opportunities, and while I don't believe she
for
was,
her skill level.
Yeah. I don't believe she was horrible, but she wasn't really up to par, especially with the talent that's there and the talent pool that is wide open that I believe is about to be signed. Mm-hmm. At the same time, I don't want this type of topic to like be dismissed, because this is something, a conversation always worth having. And yeah, I love that the diversity in wrestling is a lot better now. Especially, that's one of the reasons why I love Ring of Honor so much, because I love seeing guys like ACH do their thing.
Yeah.
And I hope he's doing okay.
Cheeseburger.
Caprice Coleman. I did see Leo Rush live before he made it big in one of the Lockport shows I went
Lethal.
to. Kenny King. Jay Lethal,
Kenny
of
King
course.
especially, yeah.
And so, yeah, I do believe that should absolutely... That is... Diversity is in wrestling, and it's good, and we could point to like several up and coming like black wrestlers in AEW right now. At the same time, though, we know that there is a reason why there are no brothers in the main title picture right now. Yep. There is.
But
like,
the companies
AEW
they have
building
time.
them.
They have time to grow into the.
I'm gonna get to.
Yeah, we didn't mean to attack you.
No. But the moral of the story is, if your stuff ain't up to snuff, then you should probably shut up.
That rhymes, Mars. You know it rhymes.
Yeah.
But Chico, finish what you were about to say, because I think it's important.
Yes. So what I was trying, what I want to finish off with is that, yeah, I mean, while as good as the AEW product is, and the main title picture is, and everything else, as far as the main title picture, and as far as seeing like people that look like us in prominent positions, there is room for improvement in that. I've always had faith that it will happen, especially if my man Keith Lee does get signed. I hope he will get the proper bill that he deserves, and he will go on to win several championships.
I'm confident that he will.
Yeah, that boy is limitless.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not just a gimmick.
And even on the women's side, is there are better women. Whether I'll even just keep it to black women with Big Swole. Athena, aka Everyone, is on the market. I would sign her in a heartbeat for there, and Mia Yim.
Oh yeah,
Or
definitely.
even Red Velvet, somebody that's already there. Like, she's improving to me.
And that's why she's on Dark and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But she's proud to be there on Dark, and she's honing her craft.
No, in the spots that she's had, like just with the mixed tag match with Shaq and Jade and Red Velvet and Coke. And thank Christ,
Got a title shot.
And thank Christ that it was Red Velvet in that spot and
Not Brandy.
and because it was a way, because it made for a way better match.
Yeah, it did. Because she's way more seasoned in the ring between the ropes than Brandy is. So that did. I wasn't all about it at first because it didn't match up or whatever, but like I get it. I definitely get it.
Okay,
And,
so
yeah.
yeah, so regardless, let's just make sure we keep a close eye on this and just make sure that the superstars get the opportunities they deserve. And one other thing, AEW does get this. They get a lot of harsh criticisms that are kind of unnecessary, just because of like fuckery portrayed, not just by the E, but by other wrestling companies in the past. And I think people kind of lose sight of the fact that AEW is only a 3-year company right now. So it's going to, a lot of things that you may want right away, they're going to take time to establish.
Yeah, it's all trial and error.
And if you guys remember if you're following us on Twitter, Rock Solid Talk is the handle. I said this on, I think it was a Ringside News post. This was me personally. Whereas, to this whole situation about inclusion and things like that, I specifically said that it's going to take time. Look how long it took WWE to implement anybody of color or any type of other descent or anything like that into their main title pictures. They were absolutely fine with not doing it for so long. You can't sit there and that happens a lot with the e-shows and things like that, where it's like, oh, now they shit on AEW so much that they really just want AEW to die at this point, because they are not affording AEW the same amount of time or the same amount of grace period or anything like that to get right. Oh no, they must get everything right 100% of the time directly out of the gate, and that's not fair. It's just not fair. That's just not how things go. That's not how things should go. They should push their stars first. That's how you get eyes on the company. They're still in that phase, getting eyes on the company. That's why Jericho was the first AEW champion over Kenny Omega. He beat him, or whatever, not for the title, but he beat him to get into that. They had their plan. They're starting their homegrown stuff. And that's why AEW is so hot right now, is because of all of the homegrown stuff. The Darbys, the MJFs, the Powerhouse Hobbs, the Ricky Starks, the Jade Cargill, the Britt Bakers, all of that. That's just a little handful of what I'm talking about with the homegrowns and stuff like that. So you have to give them that time to be able to establish their footing, find their identity, and push forward with it. They're very wrestling heavy, so they're going to be doing that. But then also, Tony Khan also knows that you can't push everybody at the same time. The fans should also know that. The AEW fans know that. We're enjoying the variety of it all. I was sitting there watching Dynamite this past week, and it was just like, just one thing after the other after the other. Actually, I was showing my brother highlights because he's missed it like the past 3 weeks or whatever. He was sick. So I'm showing him highlights of everything that's been happening and things like that. Who's coming in, who's doing this, who's doing that. There's so much stuff to choose from. You go to their YouTube page, it's all just their clips of everything. The CM Punk, Darby Allin, and Sting team up, the Hook debut, Hook's second match, Cody beating Sammy Guevara, Riho and Britt Baker stuff, Thunder Rosa and Jade Cargill stuff, Mercedes Martinez coming in. Just There's so much stuff happening in AEW, and it all has a direction. You can't say that about WWE. You can look on their mid-card or anywhere besides the main event and know there's no story because you can just hop right in and just watch a match. That's literally it.
She's another name that's going to get her shot, too. Martinez.
Who? Oh, yeah. Oh, look, another minority.
Yeah, another minority who's going to get her shot because she has the talent
just
to get her.
Just this past Wednesday.
Yep,
And I called it as soon as she smashed her with the glass. I said that's Mercedes Martinez.
I really wanted a Jamie hater, but
Nope.
Yeah, we have a Puerto Rican woman in the women's division now. Somebody who's been in the business for quite some time.
Yep,
so
experience.
I'm excited to see like what she'll do and what type of
Where she will actually get
advice,
used.
Yeah.
Yes.
And what type of advice and experience that she can offer to the rest of the women who are up and coming.
And that's important to have in your locker room, women's wise and stuff like that. Like, I'm going to offer a hot take here really quick because I was
going to say, yeah, speaking of that, that's the thing that bothers me about these E shows too. Like, oh, Tony's just picking up all the former E people. They're not former E people if they were never used in the first place.
And they were never used in the first place, and they come from other places before the E. E snatched everybody up so that AEW wouldn't get them. At first, that's how it was until they were like, "Oh, well, they can't sign them off." Yeah, you guys.
Yeah,
can
they
go.
were stockpiling because they still were using.
That's literally it. That's it.
So if they come from over there, they're not E people. They were just being held up.
And most of the
for
people
ransom.
now are literally, they've come from the indies. They're from other places and things like that. Dang, I didn't even mention Dan Garcia with homegrown stuff. He was Independent Wrestler of the Year, I believe. So congrats to that. It was just it's one of those things where, and then people act like you can't like criticize AEW. Like we said, the end of Tony's tweet, he didn't have to say it like that, but I mean, it's not like he was wrong about it, but people didn't expect him as the boss.
Even if he didn't word
do
it properly, he still got his point across, and he still has his supporters.
Yeah. And I listened to an interview with Swole, like even after that and stuff like that, and she's talking very fondly of Tony. Like when they go to one of the cities or whatever, Tony would just go into like a restaurant and tell the owners like, "Okay, yeah, like clear everybody out of here. My people coming in here. Like we about to eat. Like here's however much you want. Like serve my people." You know, that's what Swole said.
But that was after all of the trash talk, though. Now you gotta.
That was after the trash talk. Yeah,
you can't backtrack now.
Yeah, well, that's what she did. That's where I heard that story from. It was an interview after the fact.
What I meant to say was.
Yeah, because she saw all the ire or whatnot. It's just like, yeah, no, you really don't want that smoke, like at all. So, and kudos. I'm not gonna like I said, I like Lick Swole.
Yeah.
Kudos to her for like even like backtrack. It's not like you can't backtrack or whatever. If you felt like he was wrong, That's cool. You know?
But don't put it out there that. Like
and also, when we're saying that like she wasn't up to par, again, we're not saying she's horrible. It just wasn't.
She just set the world on fire.
Yeah, just not quite on an elite level quite yet.
No pun intended.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe.
But that doesn't mean she can't be later on. And there are still other indies out there. She came from the indies like everyone else, and she can go back to the drawing board and improve.
And I'm pretty sure Tony will welcome her back with open arms.
Oh, absolutely.
The day she decides to come back. Yep. No hard feelings.
No hard feelings at all. And that's the difference.
And she will not get punished.
Yeah, no reprimanding.
Yeah. I mean, and another thing about this, because I understand, like, I want to be as understanding as possible about this, while at the same time, like, just, being sensitive to our issues. I do understand that as a wrestling promoter, just being a fan for so long, that you do have to make these tough decisions where you are going to have to let people go if they're not quite pulling their weight.
Yeah.
And especially now when the talent pool is all the way wide open.
So thick. There's only so much you can do to, like you said. He was building a roster.
Yeah.
And it's trial and error. Like, you gotta see how it goes.
And that's the
why they
thing
let
too.
go of, like,
Everybody
Sadie
on
Gibbs
his
and all
roster
that.
damn near is getting used. Why do you think
Right.
he has Dark and Elevation
Exactly.
and all that stuff?
Yeah, so they can get their numbers
So they can
up,
get their way. They can.
experience
So they
in.
can. Yeah.
But
So they
that's-
can make names for themselves.
That's one thing Swole took exception to too in her first interview, where it's just like, oh, you have all these people on Dark like having like 3-minute matches and stuff like that, and then they go sit in catering and stuff like that. Well, that's gonna happen with any company, any big company at that. At least you're getting stuff in. And it's very open creative wise, so that's the biggest draw, if anything, is the creative aspect of it, where you can have your ideas heard. Tony's not locked behind some door. He's super accessible. So,
Yeah, and with a deep roster like that, now with the roster being deeper than ever, there is competition.
yeah.
And you are going to have to do something to be able
Stand out.
to stand out and show your worth. Not like I'm not saying you have to necessarily do like the same thing that someone else did in the match, but you do have to show your worth.
Right. Again, that's why we have, Punk. That's why we have Bryan. That's why we have Adam Cole. All those big signings that came in at once, like, that's by design.
Yeah.
Like,
And if names like that are available, you have to jump on.
yeah, exactly. You have to. Just like Keith Lee. Maybe Mia Yim, if you want to keep him happy. They're married. So, other people like Athena, you can't pass her up. I don't know how WWE did. You can't pass her up. You can't pass up Toni Storm. Maybe Tegan Knox, but why not have a solid hand? They took a chance on Tay Conti, or whatever. Ty Conti wasn't setting the world on fire in NXT.
Yeah,
And now look what she's doing.
But then
Look at last Friday.
But then she's worked heavily with Dustin,
Mm-hmm.
somebody whose experience wasn't used in the E like that to help other people out.
And as hard as he tried, he had to run the Divas division over there. They gave him Divas, not women's wrestlers.
Right.
I heard his Double or Nothing post conference interview back in 2019, where he was frustrated because like he had this experience and these
Not able to put it to
knowledge
good
to
use.
contribute, and
Right.
they just did. The E just didn't see it that way, but he's working with this talent too in a coach position, and he's doing great things.
Yeah. I mean, one thing. Okay, so one thing. Switching gears a little bit here. Still on the topic of AEW. Like a lot of. I think the common misconception out there is that people don't think that AEW fans can necessarily give good criticism or whatever. Like, oh, we like everything that AEW does. Like, no.
I criticize everybody.
Yeah, and we're not like that on this podcast.
And so do they.
It just so happens that AEW does great things,
Yes.
like consistently. I don't know what y'all are like experiencing over there. Well, no, I do. I know what y'all experience.
And
on
even the
side.
shit that's stale and corny, like we've come out and said it. Like
Yep.
I've gone on about the Hardy family office multiple times.
Yes. We've gone on about Wheeler Yuta not belonging in BTE in Best Friends, and look what they're doing on BTE. I'm enjoying that thoroughly.
I don't mind him existing, but I know he feels some type of way. But that's fine.
I just want him out of Best Friends. That's what I want. You're not a best friend. You're a placeholder. Get the hell out.
They are playing that up on being the elite.
Oh, yeah.
Which I love.
I'm just kidding.
No, you're not.
Trent's so perfect with it. I love it. But yeah, you're completely right though. Like, but see now another hot take. And I was gonna get to this earlier because I was watching. If y'all have the opportunity, go back and watch Double or Nothing 2021, the Britt Baker Sheeta match. I love Britt to death, but she's not fluid. Like she's kind of a sloppy wrestler. Like as a wrestler, her personality and her gimmick is near perfect, but she's got to get tighter in the ring, dude. Like it's bad. Like oh man,
that particular match though, like there was some overbooking.
It dragged on. Most of her matches drag on. Look at the Tay Conti match. It didn't need to go that long. We were sitting there in full gear in the theater, like, okay, this needs to be over. Like,
when she won the title, took too long.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's the Double or Nothing match I'm talking about. It took way too long. And then she was when she like gets a near fall or something like that, she just kind of rolls off of her and just kind of like dogging it around the ring, like
farting around.
Yeah, like literally farting around. Like
come on,
get
Brett.
with it. Like have some momentum. Around. Yeah, not having the momentum and shit like that or showing it really shows. Like it's weird, but like I said, I love Britt Baker, I really do, but like. There are way better wrestlers than her anywhere else.
Rosa.
Yeah, that's what we need. And I'm very concerned about that because she's got to drop it to her at some point.
There's room for improvement for her, too, you're saying.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah, definitely. But she's got to get tighter with, like, transitions, hitting moves, stuff like that. Because, like, I saw
some of the moves would get executed pretty lazily.
Yeah, lazily. That's what it is. It seems like it's lazy in the ring. That's my hot take, and that's only because Britt's so popular, is that it's a hot take. Because I'm pretty sure we see it, but because she's so popular, people ignore it.
Okay. So this, you're just giving an example of just we're not afraid to give
we're not.
Anybody.
We're not. Anybody's up for grabs here, and like I'm saying, like, we are not afraid of criticizing AEW. The world title picture AEW right now could be much more. I loved the Hangman win. Trust me. I was there. Y'all heard me yelling on the podcast. In the theater as it was happening. But it's just not really, as far as all the other AEW world champions have been so far and how they carry themselves and stuff like that, Adam Page seems like a prop right now. It's just it's one of those things where it's just like it's something he's not hitting.
There's no oomph.
Yeah, that's it. There's no pizzazz. Kapauza. I didn't say Zork. But my God, like it's one of those things where it's just like, you have to pay attention to this stuff. And this is one of the reasons why I really want Danielson to win the title. Is because I know he will knock that out of the park. He will seem like a big deal. Then when Punk comes after it, we want that. We want Danielson and Punk in the main title picture. That's probably why they put a pin in the Punk MJF feud. Because, they have a long way to go into the next pay-per-view. But so it could be that, but it also could be Punk trying to move on to better things. Like, they know they're about to make Danielson the champion, and they want Punk to go and chase it now. Punk even mentioned in his promo on Wednesday about going after the world title. Yeah. That's how you should be there, like JR said.
And he said it again. If you're not here to be champion, what the hell are you doing here?
Exactly. And I feel like I can feel AEW switching gears.
They planted the seed for a reason.
Right. I can feel them switching gears, and it's the absolute right thing to do. Sometimes it doesn't come off as indecisive like it would in WWE. And again, it's easy to say, oh, Buck Nasty just hates on the WWE. I mean, that's my job. That's what I do. I'm Buck Nasty. But still.
It's easy. They're lame as fuck.
Yeah, it's easy to hate it if you have sense.
Yes.
So, yes, I'm calling you effing stupid out there because it's stupid. Like, why would you still even give them your time, man?
And they treat you like children.
Right.
Like special needs children.
Yep. Kid gloves. And,
this is a world title belt.
Yeah, it's not a belt.
This is Brock Lesnar.
It's a championship in WWE. You
can't we don't say title shot. We say championship opportunity around here. We don't say hospital. We say medical facility.
Dude, those word rules, man. For what?
Those are the Sesame Street's words of the day.
Oh my God.
Belt. You can't say belt. You gotta say title. Oh.
And that's why Aaron Stevens used to say that on NWA Power a lot. Belts. Yeah. Belts.
Oh man, turn it into boats from How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah. Shout out to Aaron Stevens. He's doing good things in NWA. And when I was watching Power, he was a good part of that show.
I really do like all the other talent elsewhere and stuff like that. Like,
Yes.
it's one of those. It's just fun, like to see the trajectory of people, where they are, where they've gone to, and stuff like that. JTG or whatever,
Yeah, he was national champion.
Yeah, he's doing good over there. Who's he teamed up with now? Dirty Dango. They're doing great in NWA. Like,
because WWE was their developmental.
Cardona.
Yeah, one thing about it is the best developmental system that these companies didn't ask for.
Yeah, because I mean because you're so limited there.
I'm gonna keep saying that, Joe.
It is. You're so limited in WWE, and it's one of those things.
That's why Keith Lee can't be there. He's limitless.
Right.
Oh yeah, there's a ceiling. There's a glass ceiling. And that could have had something that... No, I'm not going to go there.
It is time to make my exit. You can keep this Bearcat name, and you can stick it.
Bearcat. Man, like... I get the nostalgia reference.
But WWE is... it's such black power, though, right?
Yeah,
right.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
and Keith Lee gets the shaft.
And no matter what WWE does, the Shills will still defend it tooth and nail. Tooth and nail. We, as AEW fans, full-on hardcore AEW fans, we don't defend everything. We really don't. I don't know where they're going with this Cody story, but it's nice, to at least see what they're going to be doing. We can all speculate and stuff like that, and that's another thing is that there's a lot of things on AEW that we cannot predict. We used to just be able to predict WWE like crazy.
Not everything is necessarily cut and dry.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
The only thing I'm predicting right now is that I hope Kingston addresses Jericho to say, stay the head out of my program. Yes. Because what I saw on Wednesday...
Stay away from my friends.
What the hell are you doing? Get the hell out of here, Fat Jericho.
I really think that PNP is going to side with Eddie.
I think so too.
I hope so. They need to, because Inner Circle needs to be done.
Yeah,
that's over. Hager's nowhere to be found.
Because I'm sure Kingston will straight out tell him you're a leech.
Yeah.
I
think
you're trying to, you're trying to build yourself up. You're building your credibility off my name. Not going to happen.
They were with him first.
Yeah.
So, hell yeah.
That's that heat that Bubba Ray loves so much.
Yeah.
I need that heat, bro.
Why you block me? What's wrong with you? I didn't do nothing. Like, what the hell?
It's all Toriano's fault.
Right.
He's the main
Toriano's fault.
Shout out to
this is your goddamn fault.
This is all your goddamn fault.
Or is it Peter Dune's fault?
It's surely Peter Dune's fault.
We all know who it is.
But see, speaking of Kyle O'Reilly, that's another thing where it's just like, I can't predict that. When we knew Kyle O'Reilly was coming in, we knew Kyle O'Reilly was coming in. We knew he was a surprise, but we couldn't have called that. We wanted them all to be a big old super group because that's what they were before Kenny Omega left.
It's not all sunshine and rainbows.
And exactly, and now look at what they're doing. And then now we think we know what's going on or whatever. Where Adam Cole is going to go with Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish, blah blah blah, and then Kyle O'Reilly kicked Adam Cole in the face. So I was like, let's see. And then the Bucks helped them win. Yeah. The Bucks helped Red Dragon win the match.
So that'll advance the story. Like, we helped you win the match. Well, this guy screwed up.
Exactly. So it's like,
tension.
Where is this going? I like it. I like that I can't predict it.
That's good storytelling.
Exactly. I love that I cannot
unpredictable storytelling.
Exactly the point. But anywho, we are just about wrapped up. But does anybody have anything else they want to get off their chest?
Yeah. Well, we didn't go over Rampage yet.
The only thing to go over on Rampage is how fire that street fight was.
The street fight. Your girls, Anna Jay, Ty Conti got the
and her bunny bunny.
Oh, well, she's not your girl anymore.
Her bunny toy.
Her bunny toy.
I gotta sound like Shannon for a second. Penelope was looking so good, man. Like, really, she was though. I swear. Oh my God. And those jeans. Oh, like something about a full fucking gal. I like it. You know, I like it. I like the pale skin. I like it all, baby. It was just. It's a nice treat for the gentleman. So, but not only that, it was just really. Allie, you are a beast. You are a straight beast. And I knew you on the indies and stuff like that. And it was just, man, cherry bomb and all, man, like those matches against her, man, it was just good. I know what you can do, and now the world knows. And just keep coming at it because you're gonna get over. Like you're really gonna get over. Like the commitment that you showed in that match is ridiculous. Her and Braxton Sutter, like so that's Pepper, that's Blade.
Yeah.
So
the Buffalo Kids, shout out.
Both of them, yeah, the Buffalo Kids, that's them. And we here in Rochester, New York, Rock Solid Wrestling Talk Podcast, we salute you because we love you just as much as you were from here.
Yes.
So we are very proud. Dan Garcia and the rest of the Buffalo Boys, stuff like that. You know,
Oh yeah.
we love you too. Blackwood.
They got that victory too.
Blackwood, Bennett, Garcia, Puff. Yeah, they've been being showcased very well. Like Matt 2.0, he's killing me.
The loud one, right?
Blockhead, yeah.
yeah, he's great. With his loud Italian ass.
Yeah, like you could just I forgot who he looks like.
You want to take a swing at me?
He's so he's so charismatic. Like he is the charismatic one of the group.
Yeah.
And just thinking of all these people, like the Acclaimed, man, they're coming up. They're definitely coming up as a nice little swarmy heel tag team. It's just like, you little bastards, like, hey, y'all did this again.
Yeah.
You sneak attacked me.
Then, they'll be face eventually.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. Just like MJF will be face too at some point, because like I said,
those are our people getting their shot.
Yeah, I'm gonna die on that hill though. I really would love to see MJF face. Like he would remind me of like Rock.
He'll be the Rock. He'll pander to the crowd, but he'll still talk shit.
Yeah,
to
exactly.
Everybody.
Rock 03. You know what I'm talking about, y'all. Yay! Hooray! He said Toronto! Yay! Yeah, that's where we live! We live in Toronto! Shut up! Y'all know what I'm talking about. This is what I want. Like, for MJF, it's just he has endless possibilities. I shared something in the chat recently
I always say he will be world champion.
Yeah, he interacts with his fans.
It will be his. Oh, yes. It will be his.
How he interacts with his fans, even though he's heel, it just screams. Like, we love to hate this guy. We're going to love to love him even better.
I love classic heels like that.
Yeah, we're going to love that. Of course you do, Cornette, but
yes. He's doing what I want him to do.
So in which case, how about Lambert shouting you out?
Oh, thank you.
I actually prefer Jim Cornette. Oh, it was good stuff. One more thing before we get out of here. What do we think about the Brandy promo?
Cringe.
I liked it. I'm not gonna lie. But she couldn't have. She didn't have to start out the exact same verbatim way that she came out to Jay. I'm not stupid.
That's why it's cringe.
Like I know, but some of the lines in there, the black bitch line was alright. But
yeah, that was touchy.
We were like, whoa.
And she's acting all ghetto-licious.
Right.
Like we've seen you speak normally multiple times. We know you can talk. Like,
who the hell told you it was open mic night? You bobble-headed.
You're not a hood rat.
No, you're not. You're not. You live in the suburbs of Atlanta.
But you're not, though.
But you thought you were.
But she's not.
She's not though. Oh man.
But that's that.
It could have been
The Stephanie syndrome, though.
Yeah.
Right? You go out there against a bunch of guys who
annoy
can easily kick your ass.
But do you
annoy
think she's
people the most.
Yeah. Do you think she's playing off of that though?
Yeah,
We know how cringy
it
Stephanie
could be
is.
by design, just
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
they're teasing
It
Tony's
is.
heel turn.
Teasing the heel or whatever. And
Where was he at? Why is the brother-in-law keep coming out to help her out? Where the hell is Tony
He
at?
got blasted from the back.
He was back there with Red Velvet. Let's not stop that rumor.
Oh man, but no, I mean, they could have something real big in the works, and I really like that, and I can really appreciate that.
I want a piece of red velvet cake with a shot of brandy afterwards.
Some titty residue.
There's still some boob sweat left over in here.
My God. I'm missing some panties though. But you do wear her panties, don't you?
White cotton panties.
Oh God. All right. We're gonna end this before Russo makes his grand debut.
No Russo on this
Not
show,
this year.
please.
He criticized the whole Tony Khan thing. He's just mad he ain't got no job. That's the gist of that. That's coming from me. You know, don't be mad. You know,
Yeah,
come on, Sour Patch. Don't be mad.
Tony's gonna cost you $39.99 to get his opinion.
Yeah, I don't want it. Ryback's either. Fuck you. Anywho. Alright, well, looks like if you guys join us next week or whatever, you know where to find us. We're gonna be right here in 3 Production Studios. Please like and share and subscribe to anything that you see Rock Solid Wrestling Talk Podcast related. Follow us on Twitter. We have our stuff right here, our handles, Rock Solid Wrestling Talk on Facebook. M3TV on YouTube. That's the handle up there. It's hard to spell, but I ain't changing it. So
Before we leave, you still owe one of us a title shot.
okay.
It's on the horizon.
Next week is going to be a number one contenders match because this is our bye week. We'll change that up at some point, but because I feel like there should be a week that we should build up the suspense for the title match. So what we'll do, how we described it before, is that we'll have a match and then we'll have a week off from matches and then do number one contender and then right into the match. We need to do number one contender right after we do the championship match so that we know who the match is going to be and then successfully build that up in the middle of that. And then have the title match. So that's what we're going to do after this cycle of matches. But
He just wants a month run. We'll
no,
give him that.
every 3 weeks, I'm going to defend it. Don't you worry. I'm a fighting champion. Don't you worry.
In 3 weeks, you'll defend.
So
And then that'll be it.
we will.
Yeah. Good luck being transitional.
Oh, I'm not going to be transitional. All right. You know what? What's talking to me? It says I'm going to be champion for 10 more years.
Everybody knows I'm the uncrowned champion.
Okay, Mr. Unwashed Savior of the Masses. Okay,
Yes.
I see you over there. But, in which case, next week, number one contenders match, Kenny Cornette, Chico Libre. We're going to let y'all know throughout the week what that match is going to be. Till then, that's Kenny Cornette.
Goodbye,
That's
everybody.
Chico Libre. And this is the Rock Solid World Heavyweight Champion, Buck Nasty. You already know who the world champion is. World Heavyweight Champion. And we out.
King around here.
Peace. On the king round here.